Today, I would like to introduce Reece Carter. Reece is a naturopath. He sees one-on-one clients in his clinic in Paran, as well as corporate health presentations and workshops. Reece has a particular love of herbal medicine, and he's going to share his amazing knowledge with us. Welcome to Simply Wellbeing, Reece.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're very excited to have you. So I'll start with, tell me what a naturopath actually is and who can benefit seeing one.
Okay, so I get that question a lot, actually. Either that or I tell someone I'm a naturopath and they nod and stare blankly. Basically, a naturopath works with nutrition and herbal medicine primarily. The naturo prefix actually has more to do with getting the body's natural healing mechanisms working more so than the origins of our medicine. It just happens that we work with minimal intervention. So it's all about herbal medicine, nutrition, diet, lifestyle. Yeah. So I see everything in clinic from just general health complaints. I can't sleep, I'm trying to lose weight, digestive troubles, right through to chronic illness and diagnoses where people want to try the natural approach. And so what I see is really wide and varied, but I'm always aiming to give an individualized treatment to the person in front of me. Some people want gung-ho, perfect diet, everything. Other people are still beginning and just want little tips on how they can start to make their lifestyle a little bit healthier.
And can people, say, take the herbs like you prescribe and not change their diet?
No. I think with any natural health practitioner, the goal is always trying to empower someone to take control of their own health through things like diet, lifestyle, things they can do themselves. But in the short term, herbs can give huge amounts of relief, especially when individually prepared for someone. So we have a full liquid dispensary and a full dried herbal dispensary for teas where I work, and we make creams, liquid tinctures, teas, everything that's individualized for a person. So it's different for each person that comes in, if that makes sense. You might come in with headaches and walk out with a completely different herbal medicine to someone else that comes in with headaches, because it's all about why is it happening with you and blending an individualized
So it's not
mix.
one size fits all, is it?
Definitely not one size fits all. No, and that's kind of part of my favorite part of the job, really, and why I enjoy herbal medicine so much is because you actually have to work out what's going on in this person and which of these herbs is going to help them. And you kind of get to know the herbs almost like little friends, you know what I mean? A sleeping herb is not a sleeping herb anymore. I know which one is better for people who can't sleep because they're just stressing too much, as opposed to, people who their circadian rhythm or their body clock is way out of whack, and it's a completely different ballgame for each person.
And I think that's what people don't realise about natural medicine is that if they think, I can't sleep, for the example you gave, they might go to a doctor and get a sleeping pill. And like you say, there are so many different reasons why people can't sleep. And the amazing thing about natural medicine is that, you work out what the root cause is and try and help them.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I say we're looking at helping a person's natural healing mechanisms. It's not about knocking them out with a herb. It's about removing those obstacles to sleep. So if it is stress and anxiety, giving something that's going to help calm them down. And be really mindful about that as well. I often, with sleeping especially, give them teas, because more often than not, people can't sleep because they're getting home from work. Work's still on their mind. They might have kids they're looking after. They're running around trying to prepare dinner. And they're stress, go, that by the time they get to bed, there's no reason they can't wind down. Whereas if you have to stop, prepare your tea, brew it, and be mindful of the fact that herbal medicine is healing for you, it becomes that much more therapeutic.
Mm. And so what's the difference between, say, Western natural medicine and herbal medicine, which is what you do,
yep,
and, say, Chinese medicine with their herbs?
Okay, so I haven't studied Chinese medicine. I've had friends and I've got clients who use it with really, really good results. My understanding is that the Chinese have certain prepared blends already, so mixes of herbs that they then fit to the client, whereas I mix my own from scratch. So it's more about piecing together an individualized mix for that person. Also, Western herbal medicine, which is what I do, tends to be moving in a more scientific direction, in the sense that we understand how it works in different organs of the body, different receptors, different hormones, etc., etc. And then Chinese herbal medicine still use all those beautiful old terms of heating and cooling and qi. But in saying that, there is some crossover, and we definitely use a lot of the best Chinese herbs now in my clinic because they have some amazing herbs, and we can incorporate that into our modality as well.
And do you think that people are out of touch today with natural
I think
remedies?
so. I think it's definitely a set of skills that people used to have. One person in the household at least would know how to prepare, a skin salve for eczema or cold and flu remedies, and it's definitely something that's been lost, which is a real shame, because our first thought now is just to run to the chemist or run to the medicine cabinet, and there's actually so much you can do for those day-to-day complaints, for stress, for sleep, for colds and flus that are already in your pantry or can be grown really easily in your garden. And that's kind of where I get really excited, and I've started making these videos to show people how they can implement that herbal medicine at home.
I know you've got a YouTube channel that people can see the types of things that you're making. So what at home that I might have in my cupboard today could I use that will help me if I'm sick or unwell?
Okay. So you've probably already got a lot of the ones that are really good for digestion. So those spices that we use a lot of, the cardamom, the cinnamon, ginger, they're all really good for digestion. So if you've actually got them at home, you can just grind them up, mortar and pestle, throw them into a pot of tea. So I'd actually probably recommend leaving it on the stove, covered for 8 to 10 minutes and keeping boiling it. And that's because a lot of those woody parts of herbs, like the seeds, the nuts, the roots, it takes longer to extract all of those active constituents. So if you actually leave it on the stove boiling away and then strain it, you'll get a much stronger brew. Or I'm not sure if you have a garden at home, but there's 2 herbs that are so effective and so easy to grow at home. That's mint, and then it's cousin lemon balm. And mint is another great digestive. Lemon balm's all about going to sleep, and they complement each other nicely.
Okay, so you could sort of put some mint and lemon balm together if you're having sleep problems.
For sure. It's great at nighttime as well, because after dinner you need that digestive as well. So I often just grab a handful of mint, grab a handful of lemon balm, and put that in a pot of tea, and it's really nice.
And is it you just have it raw? Is that and you put it in?
Yeah, you can use it fresh.
Yeah.
Use it fresh, and then just put it into the hot water like an infusion, like you would make a cup of tea at home. You just pour the hot water over the top.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think of Melissa or lemon balm a lot like chamomile, but it's not so flowery. So generally when I bring out chamomile with a male client, they look at me like, I'm not going to take that. So I call my lemon balm man's chamomile, and it does. A lot of people seem to prefer that flavour because it is quite minty.
So if I'm at the supermarket, and what would you suggest that people could stock their cupboards full of, or at least have something on hand for if they're sick or someone's injured or something like that, they could?
Okay. So there's definitely, in terms of sick, there's nothing. If you're getting those colds and flus, there's nothing better than garlic. There really is. You can just crush up a clove very easily. Mix it with some manuka honey, especially if you've got a sore throat, and just a teaspoon of that. Kids will take it really easily as well because the honey is so yum, and that will help the healing of the cold and flu. Thyme is the other one as well that you'll find at a supermarket, and is a really strong antiviral. So it'll help kick that cold on the head.
And is that better to have the fresh thyme or the dry thyme?
Either's good. Either is good. If you can grow it at home, fresh is easy, but you will need more of it because there's water in there as well. So there's less active constituent. If you buy it dried, then it's already been dehydrated, and you're just getting all that really strong volatile oils that have the effects.
Well, that's good to know, because not everyone can grow herbs. No. So the fact that you can get it from the supermarket.
You can get them from the supermarket dried. If you really want to get adventurous, you can wander down to your local health food store and pick up things like calendula leaves, dried calendula leaves. If you or anyone in the family has eczema, just put it in a jar, cover it in almond oil, and leave it in the cupboard for maybe 3 weeks. And when you come out and strain it, you'll have this beautiful, beautiful golden oil that just helps with skin healing and eczema. And it's so easy. So much cheaper than buying those creams repeatedly from a pharmacy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So basically, there are lots of things in our cupboards, aren't there, that we can use?
And we just don't see what they're capable of anymore. But especially those, like I said, the gingers, cinnamon for digestion, so easy.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they want to find more about you or your clinic or your videos?
So I'm practicing at the NCA, the Naturopathic Collective of Australia, in Prahran. I practice as Reece Carter Naturopathy, and you can find out more at www.reececarter.com.au, and that's where my videos are as well if you want to try out a little bit of herbal medicine at home.
Thank you, Reece. And
thanks for having
Reece
me.
is a model too, so he's nice to look at for anyone that's wanting to have a look. So,
you can say that on radio. They won't know you're lying.